Hi everyone, it's Stephanie from Lumeria Star. Today, what I primarily wanted to do was do a walkthrough of this deck that's new to my collection. This is Guidance of the Goddess Oracle. So this is by Annette Perso and Israel Gonzalez. So this deck is mostly, it's an oracle deck and it's a goddess deck. So the first thing I wanted to do is just kind of like unbox this and walk through it. And then at the end of the video, I wanted to kind of compare the other two goddess decks that I have and just see, like, do I need all of these? I probably don't. But I wanted to take a look at one goddess in all three decks and just kind of see how they differ. So I thought that would be kind of like a fun video idea. So anyway, let's take a look at this. So this deck is currently on Amazon. I've been following the creator for a while before there was ever an oracle deck. I just really liked her art style. The one interesting thing is the box is a lot bigger than the deck. So just notable, doesn't really bother me, but just something to note. It has the, you know, thumb hole cutouts, plain back. There's really no information. It did come with a deck bag, but I'm not using it, so I don't have it for the video today. So this is out of order because I've been using it. These are the really pretty backs. We've got a little bit of like a foil here, and they're like kind of like a silky matte. And they've got that gold gilding that's kind of like, it's not shiny. It's kind of like a, I don't know what that's called. It's the kind of gilding I like. So it's not like sharp to the touch and it doesn't flake off. It's kind of like this bronzy, antique-y kind of edging. So let's just take a look at the goddesses in this deck. Like I've said, I've used this, so it's not in alphabetical order in the way that it came in. I love this art style, and what I also like about this deck is it gives the name of the goddess and then a keyword. So even without the book, I feel like this is usable for me. So Elin of the Ways, which I've never heard of her, Spiritual Path, Freya, Gaia, and I love her art style, and I also really like it paired with like the stark black background. I think that looks really nice. And other than the few goddesses that I work with personally, I don't have a lot of knowledge about like the full scope of all the goddesses and all the work and knowing about each of them. So to me, a lot of this is a learning tool as well. So it'll be important for me to have information. It'll be important for me to have a guidebook so I can learn more about these goddesses and these deities. This deck with the art style and the colors does feel very earthy to me, which I really enjoy. It feels very grounding and just really beautiful. And as you see here too, we have different cultures, different, what am I trying to say? Different types of mythology. So like Greek, Roman, we have different cultures, Norse. I've seen like Slavic culture in here, Hindu. So it's got a nice diversity in here. And a lot of these I'm really not familiar with. So it's nice for me to get to know these goddesses and these deities and where they're from and their cultural backgrounds, like how they're rooted in like mythology and folklore. So I'm really excited about that. And I think the keywords are really great too. Like from the ones I've worked with, they felt really resonant to the goddess. So I think they did a nice job of pairing keywords to the goddess and their energy. So Aphrodite's one that I'm working with right now, and that's the one I'm going to compare in the 3 decks. So I'm going to just put that to the side. We've got Persephone, which is growth, and that's really important. That's the first goddess I've ever started working with. So I love this depiction here, and I really love the keyword for Persephone as well. I love this Medusa card too. Okay, so I wanted to take a look at the guidebook. So it's a nice chunk of a guidebook. We've got 121 pages. So we have in here, we have the table of contents, so you can look it up by page number, some kind of intro invoking the oracle. And then we go right into the cards. We've got like a black and white image here. I like how it says like where this deity is from. So this is Irish mythology, and they also give you the pronunciation Anya, which like I wouldn't know how to pronounce that. So I think that's great. There's a pronunciation for each goddess or deity, and it'll tell you where she's from. So this is like Norse, this is Greek, Ancient Celt, Greek. This is the Helvetii tribe, Ancient Celtic Helvetii tribe. Asibika-ashi. See, like I wouldn't know how to pronounce these, so I like how there is pronunciation there. This is Indigenous Tiano Caribbean. So it's just a really great learning tool in my opinion. So I wanted to compare this with the other 2 goddess decks I have. I think aesthetically, this is my favorite artwork. So I'm going to use Aphrodite. She's another goddess I work with. The reason I'm not going to work with Persephone is because unfortunately I have a Persephone card in one of these decks, but the other one doesn't, which is kind of sad for me. So let me put this off to the side for a second. I'm going to show you the other 2 decks. I'm going to do like a kind of like a fun comparison too. So the first one I have, oh, actually I do have the bag that it came with, which is really pretty. I just haven't been using it. Okay, so the other goddess deck I have is the Goddess on Earth Oracle. So this one is by Lisa Levart, and this is the art medium is photography, which is pretty cool. So let's get these out. And I also really, really enjoy this deck a lot. It's just unfortunate that it just doesn't have like the one goddess I work with. So that's a little bit of a bummer, but I do really enjoy this. The interesting thing with this one is it doesn't give the goddess name. It just will give kind of like the key phrase, the body knows, live large. So it actually could be an oracle deck if you don't want to work with goddesses. You could just work with the, what's it called? You could just work with the key phrase. I want to find Aphrodite in here if I can, because we're going to do a comparison of all 3. So Aphrodite is number 10. Let's see if I can find her. And I think that's a blue card because it's a water element. if I can find that. And I like this deck too because it gives different suits. Of course, I'm not going to be able to find it right away. Oh my gosh, do I not have it in the deck because I used it on my altar? That is probably the case. Okay, so yeah, that's what happened, and it's probably in my room somewhere. So I can't show the card, unfortunately, but I can show you what the card looks like from the book, and then I'll read from the book because I just want to see the differences in like the write-ups. So that's unfortunate. I should have prepared better. Okay, that's fine. The other goddess deck I have, this came to me through the 9 of Earth subscription box, which I don't do anymore just because it was getting expensive. So this is the Goddesses, Gods, and Guardians Oracle deck. So this is one I probably wouldn't have picked up on my own, but you know, it came to me in the box, so that's fun. So there's the Aphrodite card. I do really love the Persephone card too. Look how pretty that dress is. Yeah, I just wish that the Goddesses on Earth Oracle had a Persephone card. And I just want, before we do the comparison, I just want to show you some of the cards here. So there is a lot of overlap with some of these goddess decks. This one does have gods as well as guardians. So this one isn't just limited to goddess work. So that's why this one makes it a little bit different. So that's why I'm like, do I need all three? But they are kind of different. So I don't know. Maybe you guys can let me know down below what you think. I'm going to read. Let's just pretend I have the third card here. I know exactly where it is now. It's in my room. I think it's on, I put it on the bookshelf when I was rearranging my altar. So what we're going to do is we're just going to read from all three books. And I'm just curious, you know, taking one goddess, how different people interpret that energy. So let's go with the original deck I was walking through, which is the Guidance of the Goddess Oracle. The keyword is self-love. So let's just take a look, and I'm going to read from the guidebook. Okay. So, born on the merger between sky and sea. Here we go. Aphrodite is the Greek goddess of sex, love, and beauty, with origins that can be traced back to ancient Mesopotamia, long before the rise of the Greek Empire. To avoid a war between the gods over her favor, Zeus arranged her marriage to the blacksmith god Hephaestus. But this did not stop her from taking any lover she desired. Aphrodite possesses a mastery over infatuation and attraction and is routinely depicted nude surrounded by shells and doves. This power allows her to charm most deities and mortals into doing her bidding, with only the goddesses Artemis, Athena, and Hestia able to resist her magic. Aphrodite arrives to remind you of the importance of eternal self-love. Many do not realize just how little emphasis they place upon their own happiness beyond the mundane. Your job, family, and relationships may require attention, but how often do you take the time to love yourself? To know love for oneself is to become open to the love of others, and Aphrodite seeks to aid you in this endeavor. Practice taking a few moments each day to reflect on the words, I love myself, I have patience with myself. Approach your wants and needs with an open mind rather than with any form of judgment. When we honor our hearts with the respect we deserve, we embrace the true meaning of love itself. So that is lovely, working on self-love. So let's just see what the write-up for Aphrodite is in the Goddesses, Gods, and Guardians Oracle. And the keyword there is eternal love. Okay, other phrases here: romance is flowing, celebrate your beauty. Aphrodite is the goddess of love, beauty, and sensuality. Classic Greek mythology says she was born from the sea foam around Paphos, Cyprus. Exuding feminine energy, Aphrodite evokes the creative and heart-renewing powers of the water. She was a divine queen in Lemuria and reigned over all matters of love, romance, and relationships. Her temple contained a huge rose quartz crystal. Aphrodite heals our defenses against accepting love. Her mirror reveals our true beauty. Her pomegranate invites us to revel in sensuality. Aphrodite asks us to treat romantic love with respect, for it's a sacred practice. Our partners are divine teachers, bringing opportunities to learn everything about our own heart. Aphrodite rises from the sea to bring pure feminine blessings and lessons, her radiance showering upon you like a rose crystal waterfall. She takes you into her temple, attuning her energy to the rose quartz crystal. Laying pink roses at your feet, her priestess anoints your body with rose oil. Aphrodite says, "Beloved, see yourself as I see you, as an everlasting expression of the divine. Heal those old wounds of not beautiful and not lovable. Look into my mirror and see your true essence." Your relationships echo your relationship with yourself and the goddess. As you practice loving yourself, so you'll see this rebirth of self-love reflected back to you by your partner, friends, family, and the entire world. Renew your trust as love never truly leaves. Your heart has a different healing pattern from your mind. So if you're in the process of heartbreak, listen to what your heart is saying. Create a fresh template of love with a vibration that honors you. My spirit is breathing excitement and passion into your heart. A new cycle of love awaits. So this one had a very self-love message. This one actually did too. I do like that in this guidebook specifically, it's like a message from Aphrodite. And is it like that in every, let me just take a peek. I don't know if every card has like a message directly from the deity, but I really love that. So I don't have the card to show, but we're going to take a look and read the same goddess. So Aphrodite is 10. Let's see if I can, here we go. So this is what the image looks like. This is what the card looks like in full color. And again, this is like photographs. So this breaks it down, goddess of love, and then attributes, perspective, and action. Rising out of the froth of the elemental waters, the Greek goddess Aphrodite rules over life and death, love and beauty. She embraces sexuality as an embodiment of the divine. She nurtures the desire to live in harmony with the natural world. As the water goddess, Aphrodite symbolizes transformation. She reflects how to translate everyday feelings into active love. Perspective. So the person who is in this card, her name is Karen Lore. She's an actress and author. She says, "I know love is our true nature and an infinite supply flows into us from this divine universe if we allow it. We allow it by focusing on what we appreciate and what makes us happy. Seeing well-being in everyone and everything is an act of pure love. Seeing well-being in everyone and everything is pure fun." So the action is awaken to love. Joy for life flows from Aphrodite as she delights in the knowledge that all is well. Love is nurtured through our personal connections, the celebration of the five senses, and being your most alive self. Remember when an electrical current travels between 2 points, it creates a flow of energy. Multiplying connections increases electrical currents or energy flow, allowing you to awaken fully to the pleasures of all facets of love. So I think that's really interesting that we have just like a perspective of how different cards are depicted with different decks. I think what I'll do too, because yeah, let's just do it because I currently work mostly with Persephone. So let's just read from the 2 decks that I know have her. Let's see. So these are 2 very different depictions, I feel like, but I appreciate that. And my only hang up is I wish the Goddess on Earth Oracle had a Persephone card, but that's okay. Okay, So let's read. So we see here Persephone in the guidance of the goddess oracle. The keyword is growth. And Persephone in the goddesses, gods, and guardians oracle is new beginning. So again, that they're pretty related. So let's read. I'm just curious. Is this in alphabetical order? Yes, it is. Okay, Persephone. The Greek goddess Persephone plays a crucial role in the changing of the seasons, ruling over the spring months. She is the daughter of the goddess Demeter and the king of the Olympian god Zeus. In a rather controversial tale, she is kidnapped while out of the watchful gaze of her mother and taken down to the depths below the earth by the god of the underworld Hades. After being returned, it is discovered that due to consuming food from the underworld, she must return to Hades for a number of months each year. This travel back and forth was used by the ancient Greeks to explain the transformation of the seasons. Persephone returns to the underworld to open your eyes to growth. We are always evolving as individuals, affected by the world around us in ways often invisible to the naked eye. Change can be intimidating, and it is not always for the faint of heart. Have you noticed old patterns that no longer serve you? Persephone wants you to understand that history does not have to repeat itself any longer. Love that message. You are capable of transforming your destiny as you see fit, so long as you do not find yourself held hostage by fear or doubt. Plant the seeds of your intentions now so that your growth can be realized in all of its glory. So I really enjoy that message from Persephone from the Guidance of the Goddess deck. And then let's read from the Goddesses, Gods, and Guardians. So this Persephone is new beginnings, a time of complete renewal. You have the power to create light-filled change and rebirth. Persephone is a Greek maiden goddess who was captured by the king of the underworld, Hades. After eating the pomegranate seeds Hades offered her, Persephone became queen of the dead, agreeing to spend 6 months of each year underground. On Earth's surface, this created winter. When she returned above ground each spring, Persephone and her mother Demeter opened the flowers and blessed the crops. Persephone symbolizes the eternal death life cycle, helping us find renewed light after times of dark discomfort. Whilst her pomegranates symbolize immortality, her other symbols are spring flowers, corn, and grain. And then it says here, you may feel lost, exhausted, afraid, or shrouded in darkness, but Persephone is here to say, don't give up. She reminds you of the dual feminine powers of diving underground only to rise up again totally renewed. Love that message. Perhaps it feels as though something in your life is ending or broken down, yet Persephone invites you to see things differently, as an opportunity for magical new beginnings. It will pay off now to dig as deep as you can into your soul for a fresh start. Make the effort to create positive change and it will reward you. Like a phoenix rising, you're a skilled alchemist who can begin over and over again in life, creating stronger foundations, soul-inspired work, and enriched relationships. You have what it takes to ascend into spring, taking deep spiritual lessons from the underworld with you. And additional meanings, you can successfully deal with an illness, relationship difficulty, or life challenge. Don't give up. As Persephone symbolizes the mother-daughter bond, this card may signify a rebirth, significant change, or healing within this relationship. You're a complex, intense soul who needs testing periods in your underworld to recall your spiritual power and alchemize your light. And then the invocation. Persephone, help me to begin again, taking sacred lessons from the challenges I've faced. Stand beside me as I emerge renewed from the darkness. So I really love that too. I just thought that would be fun to compare cards, but yeah, I feel like I really love this artwork. I think for me, this is just my aesthetic. This deck particularly feels really grounding. I'm gonna have to decide if I'm keeping all three, but I know this is the deck, I think, aesthetically speaking and keyword speaking, so usability, this is the one I would use the most. But I'd love to know what you all think, just with that, you know, kind of activity of like pulling out one card of each deck. Like, what did you think of all the write-ups? What did you think of the art styles? Which one resonated with you? Do you think I need all three? Do you think maybe just one? I'd love to hear your thoughts below, you know, especially if you have worked with goddess decks. Do you have any of these? Are goddess decks not your thing? I'd love to hear all the things. So feel free to share everything down below. Feel free to give this video a like and subscribe if you haven't already. And also, if you want to follow me other places, you can follow me on Instagram at Lumeria Star. I usually post a card reading a day, a reading for the collective every day. You can also find me on my Patreon, which I call The Coven. And you can find me under the same name, Lumeria Star, where I post, you know, different creative tarot content, custom spreads, journal prompts, different tarot lessons. I'm doing my giveaways exclusively over on Patreon. So that's been really fun. So I hope you all enjoyed this video. Let me know all of your thoughts down below on this goddess deck and the other ones I have. And I'll see you all in the next one. Take care, everyone. Bye.